Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to review House Flipper VR. House Flipper VR originally released on the Oculus Quest store on August 27, 2020. It became available on the Steam store November 5th, 2020. It's available for the HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and the Valve Index. Windows Mixed Reality is currently not supported, although there is talk on the Steam community forums that if you edit controller bindings, it does work perfectly fine. The developer does promise to support Windows Mixed Reality in the future. Now on the Steam store, House Flipper VR retails for $20 normally. It's currently on a 10% sale. However, on the Oculus Quest store, it only retails for $14.99. I'm not sure why that price discrepancy currently exists. I got a free Steam key through the Steam Creator Connect program to review this game as far as the Steam version. Now, before I talk more about House Flipper VR, I do want to mention that as a point of reference, I am using House Flipper Pancake version. I bought that on the Steam store years ago, and I have played that a little bit to get a point of reference of how Pancake differs from VR. I've also played Viscera Cleanup Detail Pancake, and I really love that game. I love the physics in Viscera Cleanup Detail. I think that's what House Flipper VR should be striving for, that kind of immersion as far as the cleanup, as far as house flipping, as far as home design. I really hope that's where they're trying to go towards. However, I'm afraid that that's not really what they're going towards. It really feels like maybe they're going towards just a DLC kind of game where they're really trying to sell you on the extras for this game. Right now, as of today, the current state of House Flipper VR, I would say the Pancake version of House Flipper is much better than the VR version. I hate to say that because I am a big VR fan. But the thing that's really lacking in House Flipper VR is the depth that exists in House Flipper Pancake. And the VR interactions that currently exist in House Flipper VR are a little too basic. So they're not really immersive or really all that interesting when you're doing these VR interactions that are supposed to mimic real life actions. So let's start right at the start. House Flipper VR, in my opinion, is an okay game right now. Really, the best reason to buy House Flipper VR is to support future development of this game. Hopefully, it turns out at least as good as House Flipper Pancake, but right now, as it stands, it's not as good as either House Flipper Pancake and not even anywhere close to Viscera Cleanup Detail. It's really lacking the depth to the gameplay that is necessary to really get you hooked into the gameplay loop. House Flipper VR, just like House Flipper Pancake, is running on the Unity engine. On my RTX 3080, I was getting a steady 72 frames per second, again because I'm on the Oculus Quest 2 and I'm using the Oculus Link cable. I am limited to 72 frames per second, but it was at the highest graphical settings. I did not experience any serious bugs or issues during my gameplay. There were some bug fixes during the time I was playing this game, so I might have experienced those bugs, but I guess the developers fixed the bugs that were there. I did not experience any game-breaking bugs, although there were some oddities, and these may have been fixed by the devs already, but during my gameplay I did experience issues where when you hold an object in your hand, you stop being able to go forward. Also, there was just some weird physics going on at times with items just floating in the air or just being trapped within objects and not being able to move and having to move them out of the way, or just having difficulty placing items where you want. They just seemingly keep turning around when you just want to put them in place. I think those issues are being worked on by the devs. However, like I said, they've been constantly updating the game. I'm not really sure if the issues that I've experienced have already been fixed or if they're still like on a list of things to be fixed by the devs. I do know that the devs are familiar with the issues that I bring up. right now in this video. And honestly, I was surprised when I went to the Steam store page and I found out that this game was not in early access. However, the devs are working on the game. They've been updating it since I got it on the Steam Creator Connect program, and they do promise more future content. I just really hope that they work on the VR interactions. To me, that's the biggest minus from this game. The thing that's really holding it back from being what I would call a really good VR game right now is just more like, it's okay. And it is probably one of the better VR interior design games, but just as a house flipping game compared to the Pancake version, or just compared to Viscera Cleanup Detail Pancake, it's just really lacking in almost every aspect. Now, House Flipper VR, like House Flipper Pancake, is running on the Unity engine. On my RTX 3080, I was getting a steady 72 frames per second on my Oculus Quest 2 using the Oculus Link cable, where I am limited to 72 frames per second. On the highest graphical settings, I did not notice any issues at all with the frame rates or performance. The bugs I experienced were just the ones I mentioned earlier. You do have full locomotion and snap turning. There's also teleportation and comfort options, as well with a vignette effect. Now, I've spent approximately 6.5 hours in the game. I did finish the main portion of the game. So there's basically two modes to this game. There's a jobs mode, and that's basically where you're given jobs to do, and you go to a certain house and you're given a list of tasks to complete. Once you complete the task up to a certain percentage, you can go to the next task, or you can also try to 100%. I did 100% every single job I was given. There's also another part where you can buy houses and then upgrade them to your liking, so it's more open-ended. Now, obviously, you're still gonna have to clean it up, make sure that you paint the walls and, use the different tools available to make it the highest value possible. And I'm not sure if this is a bug or not, but at least on the version that I was playing, I did not have the ability to sell the house, so I couldn't actually flip the house. But I did see it in the developer's devlog that was something in the game. So I don't know if the game just hasn't been updated with this version of the game, or if somehow my copy that I received through the Steam Creator Connect program, it was just bugged and just didn't have this particular content on it. So I was only able to purchase 3 or 4 different houses, and I did upgrade them all. I did improvements on them, but then I wasn't able to sell them for a profit. Either way, it just wasn't as fun. It's just lacking the depth that the Pancake version of this game has, where it is very fun to see all the different buyers and just seeing all the different things available in that game. There's just so much more content in the base version of House Flipper Pancake, and it just makes buying and selling houses all that much fun. You can knock down walls, you can change the dimensions. There's just so much more accessories and things to add to the house that just make the whole process a lot more fun, a lot more thought-provoking than what's on the VR version, which is just a little too simple to be all too enjoyable for more than a few hours. And it's not just the lack of depth, but it's also just the VR interactions. They're not as good as they can be to really make this a fun experience. Stuff like picking up trash really isn't fun. Now, you have this tool belt around you where you can pick the different tools available. One of them is a trash picker to pick up the trash, and basically you just point that thing towards the direction of trash and it'll just be automatically picked up and poof, magically disappear somewhere. I would have liked to seen a system where you actually have to grab it with the tool and then place it like in a trash bag that's nearby or next to you on your tool belt. That would have been more immersive. Even picking the different tools from your tool belt is not a smoothed or polished experience. I was constantly getting the wrong tool. And it seemed with every single tool in your tool belt, the VR interactions were just too simple, too basic to really be immersive. For example, also the hammer. So basically with the hammer, all you do is tap the wall and the color basically disappears from the wall. It doesn't make a lot of sense. That's not how it works in real life. You don't get rid of paint on a wall by hitting the wall with a hammer. And you use the broom and the spray to pick up dirt, which is fine, but again, it's not very immersive. That broom just clips through the floor all the time, and then you use the same tool to clean the window, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Even in the pancake version of House Flipper, you use a squeegee to actually clean the window, so I'm not sure why you'd use a broom, a sweeper, on a window. That's not how you clean them. You also have a drywall taping knife, and that one's okay because it's semi-realistic. The problem is you don't have to be anywhere near the wall to use that tool. Basically, you could be several feet away and all you do is hit trigger and almost the whole wall will be completely transformed. Finally, you go to the air paint can, and again, the same issues. You could be like a foot away, you'll still be painting the wall, you don't have to be anywhere near it, and there could be other objects in between you and the wall, and you can still paint the wall. It'll paint through the object and to the wall. It is just immersion breaking. It just doesn't have the depths to make it even semi-realistic, to even give you the illusion that what you're doing is anywhere based in reality. So again, I think this is a nice start to a game that feels like early access, but it's just lacking a lot of depths that the Pancake version has. If I have to rate House Flipper VR, given all its faults, given the content it has, I would give it a 5.5 out of 10. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.